As it moves on back to the north, Robbins could experience this by at least 2:30-ish. And as Christian said, obviously you can't take these times down to a minute, but you can give a general idea. So in the 2:30 kind of half-hour period there, it'll be moving up toward Putnam by 2:45. So Christian, I know this is going to be kind of a ever-changing and developing situation more quickly than what we normally see.
Yeah, it is for sure. Thanks, Eric. And of course, just to kind of reset here and zoom out on a wider view, I want to let you know the only warning that we have in our area right now is for Montgomery County, and this does include the southern tip of Randolph County if this storm were to hold together. So the warning now goes until 1:45. So we have about 10 minutes left on this. If it holds together, they'll likely extend this warning, but if it continues to show signs of weakening like we've been looking at, they may be able to just let this warning expire on its own, or they may be able to cancel it out a little bit earlier. So again, just to reset, if you are joining us, the time now is 1:35, and we are on your TV this afternoon, WFMY News 2, with a tornado warning in our area. This is for Montgomery County and places like Norwood, Cottonville, Mount Gilead, and Troy. You're going to be up over the next 10 to 15 minutes. So definitely want you to find your safe spot now. And let me zoom in here a little bit closer. I don't want to forget about some of our other towns and some other ongoing storms that we have, but right now this is the most pressing one. Because it could be producing a tornado. And again, as I look at the radar signature here and look at our velocity map, this really shows you how the winds are twisting and turning in the storm. And to me, I don't see a super strong area of rotation. This would be the area right here near Ansonville as it pushes off to the north and east. There's also another little area here that seems like it's trying to spin in Norwood. So this is crossing Highway 52 right now. This is the strongest portion of that storm. So Norwood, Ansonville, you are in your safe spot right now. Cottonville, you're going to be in your safe spot right now. Mount Gilead is right here, just to the east of Norwood. And if we zoom in a little closer, you can see that. So here's Mount Gilead here. As you take Highway 109 up to Troy, this would eventually move into Randolph County and take you to Denton. But this is where that strongest point of that storm is going to be moving. So Mount Gilead, you're up in the next 5 minutes, moving right along Highway 109. This would go through the Pekin community as well, near the Pekin Fire Department right there on 109, and we'll move on up into Troy and then eventually move into Bisco if this storm holds together. So if you're in any of these towns that I've called out, if you're in any of these areas, if you're in Norwood, if you're in Mount Gilead, if you're in Pekin, if you're in Troy, if you're in Bisco, you are in your safe spot right now because you are included in this warning. And again, Randolph County, you are included in this warning, just the southern tip of Randolph County. So this is going to be right near Seagrove, near Eula, near the Pinewood Country Club area. There's a rest stop right here on I-73 or Highway 220, as a lot of us from Randolph County still like to call it. So that's where that warning would be included if it holds together. So this is not really a Randolph County storm just yet. But still, if you live in Seagrove, I want you to be in your safe spot. If you live in the Pinewood area of Randolph County, just south of Asheboro, if you live in Eula, near the Eula Fire Department right there near Highway 220 business, I want you to find your safe spot, know where to go if this warning gets extended for your area. It doesn't include you yet, but as the storm races off to the northeast, it is moving fast at 70 miles per hour. It could eventually move into those areas, and that warning would need to be extended. So again, that's the warning that we're watching right now. And again, it's been a couple minutes since we did this. So I want to put a storm track on here for you. And again, just check back in on some of this rotation. It's not super strong rotation that I'm seeing. Another thing that we have to consider too in these areas, you might hear us talk about a radar hole that we have in this area. So radar coverage isn't really the best right here. You notice this purple kind of behind me? That is what indicates maybe bad data or bad radar data. So we kind of have to throw that out and we can't use that. So as you get closer to that area where the radar data kind of drops out, your radar signatures and your velocity signatures likely aren't going to be as strong. So we do see some rotation here. Again, this is right along Highway 52. This is moving up to Norwood. This is moving into Mount Gilead. So again, that's where the strongest portion of this storm is moving, crossing Highway 52 right now as we speak. Again, two areas of rotation. Let me move this radar a little bit so I'm not standing in front of it. There we go, so we can see that. So here's Highway 52, here's Ansonville, and here's Norwood. This is one area of rotation near Ansonville, leaving Anson County, moving into Montgomery County, and here's another area of rotation in Norwood. This is in Stanley County, and it's going to be pushing off to the northeast into Montgomery County over the next 5 to 10 minutes. So if you can hear me and you're in these towns, Norwood, Ansonville, Mount Gilead, if you're in the Pekin area as well, if you live right along Highway 109 heading up to Troy, you're all in your safe spot right now. Troy, you are included in this warning. Again, as we break, we're going to come back to this, but again, I want to keep eyes on everything else that we have happening here, because if you look at this on a wide view, we were talking about that timing this morning really through lunchtime up until about 2 and 3 o'clock. And what we're seeing is that main line of rain and storms pushing through our area now. So if you live in Winston-Salem, if you live in Forsyth County, Yadkin County, really if you live in Davidson County, back into Davie County, down to Rowan County, you're really out of all of this. You're kind of in the clear at this point. And we'll see some clearing continued as we go throughout the rest of the afternoon. But what we're seeing happen is as this line pushes through, it's really tapping in to that warm and juicy air that we have in place. And it's helping to organize this line as it pushes through. So even outside of any thunderstorms, whether it's a severe thunderstorm warning or whether it's a tornado warning, it is windy today, and that could cause damage. And a lot of these storms, as they intensify, may not be quite to severe strength, but they may have some 45 to 50 mile per hour gusts in them. And of course, that would be enough to blow your car around on the road. That would be enough to bring down a couple trees. And we've seen some trees down across the area as we've gone throughout the day. Not too many, but it is something to consider. Even though this doesn't have a warning on it, be advised, places, if you're here in the Triad, if you're in Greensboro and Guilford County, if you're down in Randolph County, Asheboro, Randleman, over into the Archdale and High Point area, you're getting just dumped on with heavy rain right now and likely some gusty winds in that. And a warning may need to be issued for that line of storms at some point here in the next few minutes. But for the time being, the only storm, the only warning that we have on the map is that tornado warning from Montgomery County. Also keeping an eye on some of these little storms that are popping up on their own in Surrey and Stokes County. These are what we call discrete cells. When they're out on their own like that, a lot of times in an atmosphere like today, where there's a lot of twisting, there's a lot of turning, there's a lot of thunderstorm fuel, they have a better ability to start rotating on their own and may be able to spin up a brief tornado as well. So that's something else I'm keeping my eye on, if I can talk here. And then as we go back down to Guilford County and into the heart of the Triad, what you'll notice is as this line is pushing through Randolph County, it has me a little bit concerned. Notice where these greens and these reds are starting to mix, where they're a little bit brighter here. This is broad rotation. It's not enough to issue a tornado warning, but it's enough to be concerned about. So these storms, and as this line is pushing through, there's some little areas of rotation or spinning that kind of are embedded in that line, and they may eventually prompt a severe thunderstorm warning, or if these tighten up or get a little stronger, they may eventually need a tornado warning on those. So that's just kind of a big coverage map of what we're looking at today. Again, the strongest storm right now, and the storm we're most concerned about, is for Montgomery County. I'm going to switch over here to another view of the radar so you can kind of see the strongest portion of this storm. And the line is really kind of centered right along where they had this polygon drawn. So it's kind of skirting the line or skirting the polygon here through Montgomery County. Notice where a lot of those lightning strikes are focused. That's going to be the strongest portion of the storm. So when we switch back at radar, and we look at some of your velocities, or we show you how the winds are twisting and turning, this is going to be the strongest portion of that storm right now, leaving Anson County from Ansonville, moving up to Montgomery County, another little area of rotation in Norwood. That's in Stanley County. That'll be pushing off to Montgomery County over the next few minutes. So what I want to do real quick, since it's been a little while, I want to get a little storm track on here for you and just show you again, this thing is moving fast, racing off to the northeast at 70 miles per hour. So there could easily, not only concerned about the tornado that could possibly be forming, again, that's not confirmed. It could be forming as we speak, though, radar indicated. There could be some 60 mile per hour wind gusts in this storm, and that would be enough to cause some damage. So again, rough arrival times for you here on the right, 1:43 in Norwood, 1:51 in Uwharrie, the 1:57 closer to 2 o'clock in Troy, maybe a little earlier than that as fast as the storm is moving. And eventually, if this holds together, this would move into Biscoe by about 2:04 or 2:05. And again, the warning here goes up until 1:45 unless they decide to extend this. But to me, it looks like the rotation's weakening a bit. Let's toss it back over to Eric. Are you seeing anything different? Eric, to me, it looks like that really is weakening down quite a bit.
Yeah, I was actually surprised they were holding on to this tornado warning, but technically we only have about 1 minute and 40 seconds left on it. One thing to note, right here at the bottom of the screen here, we're seeing that yellow polygon. So there is at least a severe thunderstorm warning for that area. That's still in effect, and we'll be watching that progress back up to the north. The thing we have to look out for, and this concerns me a little bit, so northwestern parts of Randolph County, right there at 74 where it kind of intersects with the main highway 73. That's a very strong cell. Again, velocity is not looking super intense there. We're not seeing a lot of rotation, but this is such a fast moving system and quickly changing that we kind of have to keep our guard up. They will probably drop this in about 1 minute, if not before. They may just be kind of covering their bases here and make sure that we're okay. But that is moving at a quick clip back up to the north. As Christian said, it is something that we'll be watching as it goes through that particular polygon right there, but it's moving so fast at this point, affecting Troy and Coleridge next, and then by 3 o'clock it could be at Siler City. Remember, by then though, the entire system will be shifting on to the east pretty quickly, and those are the areas we're concerned with. See a little bit of rotation back down here to the south of Mount Gilead. Again, we're not seeing major issues here from a velocity standpoint. As far as storm reports go with this, and it's a little bit early, we're really not seeing a whole lot. Charlotte had some wind damage. That's that icon that you see there earlier. And it is kind of something we need to note that we do still see a tornado watch, which covers Montgomery County and the southern tips of Davidson and Randolph, just barely there. But that area will be under a tornado watch until 8 o'clock tonight. Remember, a watch means that we're watching for development there. It doesn't mean that we've actually seen one yet. Quick note to go over kind of the safety rules here. Go to the lowest level of a well-built structure if it is in your backyard. Take cover in a small central interior room, and you need to stay there till the storm has passed. If you have our app, you can watch us streaming on your smartphone to make sure everything okay. All right, so there we go. That tornado warning, Christian, looks like they've taken that out. Now it's just a severe thunderstorm warning at this point.
Yeah, Eric, they're going to allow that to expire. So the time now 1:45. We do not have a tornado warning any longer in our area. Now what they've done here, they've allowed that tornado warning to expire and have issued a new severe thunderstorm warning. So that includes Montgomery County. Randolph County, you're not included in this warning, but what they've also done is put a tornado tag or a possible tornado tag on this. And what that means is we have seen it spinning up. We have seen indications that it could produce a tornado. It's just not as strong right now. So they're going to let this go as a severe thunderstorm warning, but if it does spin back up, or happens to tighten up that rotation again, they'll probably issue another tornado warning on that. Again, we're watching this line pushing through the Triad now, and control room, if you guys let me know. If we want to go back to regular programming, I'll be good to do that whenever you guys are ready. But we do have that severe thunderstorm warning for Montgomery County right now. If that tightens back up or if another tornado warning is issued, of course, we'll be back on air. For now, we're going to return you to your regular programming this afternoon.